course. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you might get a little bit behind because my computer is actually just a little bit better than yours.
Oh, what?
That's probably why. All right, though. On that note, let's go ahead. It is the actual lockpick stage, so no remake this time. We get to see how it all breaks down. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what is game number 3 here. Trademark Esports taking on Complexity Games. Diamond Grand Finals, baby. This is it. The cycle number 1, the winner of this series. They'll be your first ever Diamond Division champions, and that's got to mean something, right? Yeah. A nice little ring to it. First ever. Not too shabby. But, yeah, more importantly, 4,000 points compared to 2,500, and then, of course, $4,000 compared to $2,500. So a lot is on the line here. Trademark Esports, they are in the better spot right now, being up the series initially. But Complexity could force the final series with a win here. So we'll see. What? Now,
what do we got here?
Pestilence being blind banned. That's got to be a mistake.
No, I don't. I've seen Minus do this a lot, where he just kind of bans out some.
That was B-Kid, though.
Oh, actually, it was B-Kid.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Then I don't know. I really have absolutely no insight whatsoever to that. But I think it was just more of a, I'm going to ban a random
Where's
hero.
Pestilence? I mean, there's no one around him that you could say, like, maybe more access, but
it's not a misclick.
Yeah.
He just wanted to ban something random.
Okay.
And it didn't really care too much about what other than banning Parasite, what he banned out there. Tundra and Fade from Hellborn, not really anything too surprising. I actually can't see the locks on my screen, but I can see them on yours. But I can read them. Ophelia Keeper, I mean, this is just standard.
Yeah.
The final lock, though, actually a little bit of a interesting one is Arachna, but it doesn't matter. You already have the ingredients to a very safe pool and safe lineup with Ophelia Keeper, Wild Soul, Tempest, and, of course, Wretched Hag.
Yeah, it's a case, again, you knowing that 4 out of those 6 heroes are going to be picked up. The last one, okay, Arachna, a little bit of a curve there, but we're probably not going to see him anyways. In this matchup, I mean, these two teams especially, you can't necessarily call 100% of the time, you know, what the lock's going to look like, and maybe even some of the picks, but it's perhaps the most predictable out of all the matchups that we have nowadays, to say the least. But again, that's the reason for that. These are the number 1 and 2 teams in the world, no matter which order you want to put them in, number 1 and 2. But right now, if you did have to say based on stats and fact, really, I mean, tdM is the number 1 team over Complexity right now. Complexity is trying to dethrone them, though. But obviously, they have an uphill battle to do so, not only winning this game, but they would also need to win another best-of-3 series. So tough times. Demented Shaman, Pebbles, Moraxis, and Magmus going to be banned here so far. We have 2 more bans to go. Of course, 1 from B-Kid and 1 from my nuts here, so we'll see what is to come. Zephyr is going to be from B-Kid. And now back to Trademark Esports, who their final ban is going to be.
Lots of these strength initiation stunners are getting banned out. Pebbles, Moraxis, and Magmus are all banned out from both members of each side. So B-Kid bans out Moraxis, Pebbles and Magmus banned out, and then actually Engineer is the final ban out. Like, again, that hero has just gained so much popularity, and it's simply because as the game's approach to the late game, which they almost always do with these two teams or top tier teams, is his spells are just so much stronger in general in the late game than compared to like a Luna or Glacius or what have you, or as far as like, you know, being a support or even like, you know, Voodoo, Torturer. His spells are just very amazing in the late game, and that's the reason why he's been picked up and been so popular in the metagame right now. But Silhouette first picked by Complexity. Again, it's such a great laning hero. It lanes better than almost any against Suicides, and it also hard carries, so it's a perfect pick.
Yeah.
Draconis does a similar thing to Silhouette, but also I think farms a little bit faster. So it's kind of like, you know, what do you prefer in this matchup?
What is your weapon of choice? Well,
sure.
We see right here, again, Silhouette for Complexity, Draconis for Trademark Esports, Glacius on top of that, obviously a fine, speaking of support, pickup. You had all the options really open for you. The Alunan and Phora left open. You had your Empath, especially with the Draconis. We've seen that from time to time. But they go with the Glacius, and again, nothing wrong with that. Complexity now, back to them, and actually, more importantly, the Glacius pickup. Of course, you look at that pool, especially with the Ophelia. If there was to be a first pick Ophelia here from Complexity, well, that's where Glacius obviously comes into play for tdM. So, makes it a little bit more tougher, perhaps, on Complexity if they want to actually first pick her or something else. These next couple of picks, though, coming up, are going to start using some extra time now as B-Kid. Obviously, they got their carry option out of the way. You know, maybe something like an Aluna here themselves for that support option, and then, of course, well, probably not going to be a jungler. I mean, there's plenty of options there in the board, of course. But
this is a scary thing, I feel like, for first pick, at least in this lock pick, because you're thinking, okay, well, I don't really want to, or not that I can't. Okay, Hammerstorm Aluna, that's probably going to go mid. I love that lane. I think it's very strong.
Ooh.
And Jarazai actually picked up from tdM. So I hate to stray away from, or I like to stray away from the word cheese, but it is a hero that I know Beakid hates. Like, we used to see him ban it out all the time, but okay, they actually do go with Wild Soul. Okay, I was pondering whether they were actually going to pick up Keeper of the Forest first, but you know, giving tdM Wild Soul I feel like is not something you want to do. And they're, like I said, their win ratio or win percent on that hero or with that hero was just so damn high. But now you're gonna have to work with a number of different junglers. Like they could go Ophelia Keeper right here, and they'd be so strong as far as pushing. Suicide Keeper, maybe Jeremiah mid. Yeah, they do go Keeper and Ophelia. So I'm presuming they could also man up and maybe go like solo short or solo mid Keeper. They could do something funky, but something tells me they'll probably do something standard if Zai is playing like Keeper of the Forest. Suicide Keeper, Ophelia in the jungle farming, Glacius and Draconis maybe top. Actually, maybe Glacius and Jeremiah mid. I don't see Jeremiah often anymore, so I don't really see how they lane him. They do run him as more of like a carry Zaya. And, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this time around, I think it's safe to say, you know, obviously, it depends on really what if you want to give him that two-man lane, you know, try to get some far potential, or just put him in the safe lane top and then have that Draconis Glacius maybe at the top. So, I don't know. We'll see what tdM does, but, man, tdM's lineup especially, both teams, I mean, they do have very strong lineups, let's be honest. You look at the overall and how it finished off, but, yeah, Trademark Esports lineup, and you put it, again, you hate to say the word cheese, but I don't mean it in a bad way necessarily. I don't mean it in a way that, like, oh, how dare this team cheeses and they pick a hero like Jeremiah. I mean it in a sense that it's considered to be more of an even easier lineup, an easier strategy, you could even say, more of just like a kind of an all-in in that sense too. But hey, you know, when there's money on the line and everything, you play to win. And
I wouldn't necessarily call Jeremiah an all-in, but I understand exactly what you mean. Like, it is a relatively easy strategy. Like, you sit behind with Jeremiah behind your carry or whatever when you're pushing, and you force the team to go on you. If they go on you, well, they're losing a lot of their power, and your carries are probably doing lots of damage to them. And if you don't go on him, well, then you've already made a mistake because he's going to heal up your entire team with his heal, his protective charm, and his ultimate.
Yeah,
I'm just more amazed at the fact that I don't think I've seen in a long time a team get both Keeper and Ophelia.
True.
Like, that just seems crazy to me. Like, how the hell could that happen? And I think it's a matter of good locking, honestly, from my nuts. Having, okay, what was locked first? I want to say Ophelia was locked
first. Ophelia first, yeah.
And then you have
Keeper, I want to say?
I think it was Keeper and Wild Soul. I'm going to double check on this really quickly.
Yeah, I actually think it might have been.
Lock phase, it was Keeper Wild Soul.
Yeah.
And so that puts kind of complexity in a bad spot, and also picking up Glacius on top of that. I think it was just a very smart draft from tdM. But, you know, you have great things on both sides. I mean, a Hammerstorm, a Luna mid, or Hammerstorm and Luna dual lane mid, that's really, really strong. That should win against Glacius and Jeremiah. It's going to be hard to kill unless you go on Jeremiah and dwindle him down enough before you actually do initiate on that. But, you know, both lineups are fine, but like I said, the bottom line, seeing both Keeper and Ophelia in the lineup is pretty crazy.
Yeah, you know, something about this middle matchup, I see right off the bat, actually, look at the harassment from Glacius. Already freezing Beakid right there, going to force him to eat a tree. But Jeremiah, we see this with Jeremiah where he'll protective charm either himself or his teammate after the abilities have already been used, and I always find that, you know, even fascinating how it's like players that they just kind of go in that panic mode. Oh, I'm gonna protective charm you. Wait a second, you've already used everything, so that literally does nothing now. But
yeah,
so I'm kind of curious to see, you know, how Limp kind of plays it. What the hell was that?
People in the office are going insane.
Man, there's something going on here in the office. Having some fun here, I guess. How dare they? Anyways, but yeah, interested to see how Limp plays this year. What is that? 2 versus 2 mid. So like you said, it's obviously you got Hammerstorm and Luna, a very powerful combination, but the kill potential, especially against the Jeremiah, may not be the greatest. We'll see how it works out for them. Draconis up here against Wild Soul. Wild Soul obviously doing the polling already. Meander doing, he knows what he's doing with that. Has it pulled back and going to farm as a result. And then there's Silhouette versus Keeper at the bottom lane in the meantime. So
yeah,
tough matchups all around, really.
I'm wondering if Zai will buy a shield right now to mitigate a lot of the auto attack harass damage coming out from Haxorin. Once he does get that shield and actually ups that Nature's Veil and has that massive armor, and actually look at it, good pressure there from Haxorin early on onto Keeper. Doesn't want to give him just an inch at all to get CS freely in this lane. But as he gets those levels up and that armor and that regen, it's going to be much more difficult for Silhouette to apply enough damage on the Keeper. Unfortunately, Zai missing. Oh, actually got the last one, so he's doing pretty good as far as last hits go.
Yeah.
Early on here, 8-0 compared to 12-1 from Silhouette.
Yeah. So looking pretty good right there. We see the top rune race. It's not going to spawn there, though. It is going to be bottom. Glacius and Illuna were both heading top, and Glacius actually freezing Illuna. But now Glacius and Illuna going to head bottom. Seems like Glacius maybe just a little bit quicker, but actually Tempest is going to get there first. Oh, no, he's running. Nobody turns around at the last second. I don't know. It's going to be close. Yes, he should be able to pick it up, though. And Chessie will actually not even pick it up. He's going to get protected here. No, he does pick it up in the end. And he'll either try to set up a gank mid or just maybe continue to farm with it. But some good rune control there.
I feel like they could have actually done something on Jeremiah right there. Like, Glacius left. Jeremiah was right up there, right in front of both of them. Even though they don't have their spells up to level 2, you still got to dwindle them down. And if you're going to get a kill, it can't be from full. Like, you're going to have to get him down to like half HP, and then maybe initiate a kill. And if he's not in range, then you've done your part, because he's obviously not farming. So I think they need to be a little bit more liberal with their spells. They're both at full mana, especially Illuna. And, yeah.
Look at Silhouette, man. Look at the start that Silhouette has. 19-1 already. I mean, you compare that to everyone else, especially Draconis. I mean, he's only 14-0 himself. So, yeah, Haxorn here on Silhouette really is doing work here at the bottom lane. Very good news, of course, for Complexity in that sense. That is off to a great start. Cupid the Force is going to go to the side shop here, and there we go. He actually purchases boots and that Iron Buckler that you were talking about to help mitigate a lot of that damage, of course, coming out from Silhouette. So. In the meantime, once again, Boo Boo going to try to pull this creep wave here. You see my nuts here on Ophelia kind of putting in the damage onto Boo Boo, trying to stall it. But obviously, Boo Boo's just too damn tanky, making it difficult. Really not only for her, but even especially Draconis. And that's maybe why Draconis' farm is a little bit lower than Silhouette's, definitely. So.
Yep, and hopefully Moon can get this creep wave back in time. I feel like he should have went the other route above the river, because now Boo Boo's going to take a considerable amount of damage. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but actually it is, because I feel like you could have denied that entire wave if it was back behind you, or if it was in front of your tower.
Yeah.
Or at least got some denies in front of Draconis himself. But again, not the hugest deal in the world, but could have been done a little bit better right there.
Another rune control race right there, but instead of spawns top, and Illuna will just pick up what was a regen rune, I believe, and head back. So both Hammerstorm and Jeremiah, of course, do have that bottle here early on, and trying to take advantage of that. But for the time being, actually, it's on Glacius, I believe. Nope, there we go, back to Jeremiah. I'm going to use some more of those bottle charges. So still no kills happening just yet. Now 4 minutes into the game again, not too surprising there, but quick note to point out. Keeping the Force at the top lane, a little bit more harassment onto him. Has that level 3 Nature's Veil though. Going to be regenerating a good amount of life and also get some decent armor. But here we go with the push. Chessie comes in with the minions. They don't have a ballista with them, but they'll get a decent amount of damage here. The trees are going to be spawned by Zai though, and now the creep wave is here as well. So I don't know. It might be close to tower kill. We'll see how much Complexity is able to stand in here. It's going to be close. It looks like it's at least going to be put in deny range at this point. Actually, Chessie going for a big commitment there. He's going to start taking some tower damage. But this tower, it is going to fall. Will it be denied, though? Zai's ready to deny. Yes, he will deny with the trees, but at what cost? Right here, Zai maybe in a little bit of trouble. Glacial Blast. There's the Death Lotus coming out. And actually, no, going to be fine for now. He goes invis. And yes, he'll survive. So Zai comes through, man.
Big plays on Zai. He didn't have another Nature's Veil right there, but he knew he was tanky enough. And why is that? Because he maxed Nature's Veil. And why? What's good about maxing Nature's Veil? Because he's so much armor. So, yeah, 10 armor, guys.
You talked to Doc Kaiser about that yet?
I made a little sticky note on his
desk. Put it on his desk. You're like, just look at this. Just look at this, okay?
Yeah.
Look at the bottom lane though. They are going to continue to push. So Zai once again is there, but this tower down to about half lap already. And more, so the minions once again going to be spawned. And actually, again, it looks like we could see another tower fall right here. We'll see if Zai's able to deny it or not, if it even comes to that. Replicates are going to spawn right there, so good job coming out from Chessie playing the Tempest, attacking the minions. Obviously, they don't replicate on the tower.
Number 2.
It's going to be possible. There's the stun. They want to make sure. Oh, deny coming out from Zai. He has a root as well if he needs it. Not even necessary, though.
He actually could have killed Tempest right there.
It seems like, yeah, that's why I said he had the root. I mean, he manned up.
Yeah, he could have attacked him once, maybe attacked him twice, rooted. That's another couple auto attacks. That would have been a kill with Zai. Double deny coming out here early on, making some big plays.
Now, you look at the bigger picture. I mean, sure, that is great, obviously, and that definitely took a lot away from Complexity. But that is still two towers dead here at the bottom lane, so
yeah,
that is something to keep in mind too. But
yeah, of course. And if you look at the gold, they are leading in that regard, but not by that much. I mean, it's only 1,000 gold, and Hammerstorm doing a little bit of harass what he can, but against a Jeremiah at once it gets to this stage, it's just too difficult. His heal just heals up way too much. And Luna, where is she gone? Looks like she kind of transitioned to this top lane, so they've kind of had to concede this middle lane, it looks like.
Yeah.
And if you look at the CS, 20 on Hammerstorm, 30 on Jerizaiah, it really needs to be the other way around. And I feel like, you know, even though it is a rough lane, I feel like they could have put a lot more pressure onto them. Even if they're not getting kills and they feel like they're wasting Hammerstorm stun, just dwindle him down, make him use their regen at least until it gets to this point where his heal is just too much to actually kill him at all.
Now, the goal per minute chart, I mean, it's pretty even back and forth. I think it's obviously a little bit more consistent on the side of Trademark Esports for sure, but Complexity has Haxrin going for them really. Again, Haxrin, he's had a phenomenal start, especially when it comes to creep score. 41 and 2. Well, I guess it's still actually up there, but again, you have to remember he was also pushing on several towers there in the meantime as well. So Draconis in the meantime himself at the top lane. He remains the top farm in his, or he's up there with the Keep of the Forest at least on his team. But Silhouette is on another level, at least only 8 minutes into this game. Top tower is going to be pressured, though, in favor of Trademark Esports. However, it's not going to be pressured enough, at least just yet, to the point of killing it. So we'll see if they make a push now to this. Of course, Minut's here on the Ophelia. He is here in the lane. Well, he was. Now he's back in the jungle somewhat. And going to continue to farm with those Minotaurs. Luna's in a little bit of trouble. Keeping the Force running over. Thunder Blast already hitting. Trying to get in range. Are we going to see a root come out? The Protective Trouble on a Glacius, actually. But there's the root coming out from side. Luna's going to try to pour it out, but a great heal bomb.
Oh man.
The neutral creeps steal the kill. And Franzi's like, well, I guess I made the best case situation happen.
That was actually really well played on both sides. Franzi knew, even with the root, that he could not get away. He poured it out. It would have been fine. Great job by Limp getting that heal in. Also great job by Insania putting that ward down so they had vision of him even when they knew that he was TPing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just well played all around. And then luck comes into play right there with the Catman champion saving the day for Franzi.
Yeah, we've had some fun. Man, deny Central. I mean, not only that would have been the bloodless kill too, remember? So
yeah.
We're still 0 kills 9 minutes into the game. This tower, it's going to fall. Will it be denied? No, it will not. Minus on Ophelia there will actually get credit for the kill. So that's finally some positives. Like I said, it's been a deny fest, both of the towers, and you can kind of count the neutral creeps killing Franzi right there. So, but we do have our first technical tower kill in the sense of actually getting credit for it.
Yeah.
Of the game for tdM. Well, look at the gold swing. Again, as a team, it's actually, the gold per minute chart, it's pretty impressive as a team. I mean, overall as a team, it's looking very good. Now, again, Silhouette is up there at the top of it at 355 right now, but Trademark Esports, and this is a scary team. You especially mentioned that Ophelia Keep of the Force and push potential. You have a Jerizaiah on top of that who can kind of, obviously, very, very effective for team fights. And, well, you have a Draconis who you got to expect will eventually start to take off, so...
And I forget about this sometimes too because I don't see Jerizaiah that often anymore, but the fact that you have now Jerizaiah to heal, has his ultimate in a team fight, if you're not bursting them down, you're going to lose. Then you have the Keeper ultimate, which is not really going to, like, for damage purposes, but it's going to keep him into place. And then you have double heal coming out from Ophelia once she gets her Astrolabe. Like, how are you going to burst someone down?
You're not.
On top of that, with Protective Charm the entire time on Draconis, like, that is a very strong...
Who will get a Nullstone.
Who will get a Nullstone, of course. And even then, like, who is going to cancel it through the Nullstone? Nobody. Nobody. Like, maybe Silhouette can get a Nullfire Blade, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And even then, it wouldn't do anything, because all it would do would cancel the Nullstone.
Top lane, Wild Soul in some trouble. Blazing Flame activated. The Dragon Flame pushing it back, actually. The Minotaur standing in front, and a great coordination between Ophelia and Draconis right there. And they actually get it, and that's actually the Bloodlust kill. So 10.5 minutes in, Bloodlust kill coming out in favor of Ophelia, actually, right there. Getting credit for there. So again, that was just actually pretty well executed. Ophelia roaming over from the observatory area and just simply catching Moonmeander a little bit sleeping there.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more I look at this, like, I have this feeling it's just going to stumble out of control for tdM. Like, just having these heals up and the great hard carry in Draconis, you will not be able to burst anybody down. Maybe if you had, like, a Pyromancer on your team or, like, a Witch Slayer, then you maybe could. Actually, Beacon's in a little bit of trouble right there in the mid lane, but no, he'll be fine for now. But yeah, you're not going to be able to burst anybody down the more I look at it. And I just got to say that Minus did a fantastic job about drafting and locking heroes.
Yeah.
Like, there was just, it kind of put Beacon in a horrible position. Actually, Beacon in a lot of trouble right now. Actually, it looked like the Protective Trauma was about to come out, but no, it went on to a Minotaur. Yeah. Beacon's in a lot of trouble. He'll be safer now. I don't know if that was intent or not, but he actually put it on the Minotaur and maybe keep him I don't know.
Was that on a Minotaur or was it on Ophelia? I thought it was on Ophelia for a second.
It looked like he was on the
It might have been on the Minotaur, but maybe that was so he can get in range to stun with the Minotaur. Maybe that was the thinking because of the Hammerstone coming out. But yeah, in the end, actually, B Kid survived, so good get away from him, I guess. But speaking of B Kid, you stressed this earlier. His farm, it's not that great. I mean, he's actually only at 205 gold per minute right now. This middle lane, it just did not work out too well.
Yeah.
He was not able to get the greatest farm, and it's obviously showing. And I think that's the biggest deal because again, you have Haxorn on Silhouette. It's a phenomenal farm, 370 gold per minute. She has a sustainer on top of Steam Boots already. She has another 1,200 gold saved up, so great news there. But it does start to fall off a little bit after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say the saving grace perhaps is going to be Tempest.
Oh,
you
sure.
if you catch a lot of them in Tempest Ultimate, but look at the team that you're dealing with. If you get some Skeleton Kings up on the Minuts, if you get the Keeper ult to stay outside after the Tempest Ultimate to cancel it, it's just too difficult. Like I said, you don't have the burst potential on this team to really initiate a team fight. So that being said, if Complexity wants to win this, it's going to have to be at like the 100-minute mark. I feel like, but as you know, it's hard. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they got really outdrafted this game.
Well, you know what? Sit tight. We got another long game ahead of us, apparently.
Yeah, one kill,
like
13 minutes.
Yeah, well, 1 kill, 30 minutes in. Not too shabby, right? Yeah, it's just this matchup, man. These two teams, whether they just respect each other in terms of play, I mean, whatever it is, this is what happens. And apparently DDoS has begun, but
nope, it hasn't. It has not begun.
More pauses. Welcome to replay. Getting stuff figured out. It looks like a limp right there was actually. So I wonder if it was both limp and Chessie again, but looks like he's back now, and we're good to go. Again, the advantage of the replay cast. So here we go. We got a Hammerstorm actually going back at it with Jerazai. Is now back to his lane. Jerazai actually picking up a Neophytes book, so kind of curious to see what he goes for with that. I guess maybe a Tablet of Command. Early on, or even a Storm Spirit wouldn't be horrible, so we'll see.
Right.
Going to charge in right here on a Hammerstorm, actually applying Protective Charm to himself. Now, the teammates will get stunned in the background, so they'll be in a little bit of trouble. Glacius is going to be ported back to base, and boop, there you go. So he'll be more than fine. I don't think it was necessary, but hopefully they just wanted to be safe and get some ported back. So trying to apply some pressure right there, but just not nearly enough damage. Wild Soul Moomiander, again, he's not doing too shabby up here. He's 250 gold per minute. How much gold does he have to save? He has 3,000 gold saved up, actually. So the Mocker Brilliance is getting closer and closer. He's got the Sword of the High, just about 300 gold or so from that. And then they'll be able to start using that. And as you said, Tempest also, as many counters as there are, he will still play a pretty big role here for Complexity. And it looks like he might be going for that early portal key. I mean, he's got the Ring of Sorcery, Ring of Teacher. 1,900 plus gold saved up.
Yeah, that's like I said. If their opening back in this game is going to have to be Tempest catching people off guard. And actually, they've closed the gap in the golden experience just a little bit. It's going back and forth, of course, early on here. But yeah, again, very passive game. 15 minutes in, we're closing on that minute, and it's still only 1 kill. And it seems between these two teams, and we talked about it last game, they just play very, very tight, very safe. They don't want to make any mistakes. And, you know, if you're right now, though, if you're Complexity, like, that is not how you need to be playing this. But like I said, with the draft that they don't have burst. So how do you initiate a kill? Like, the only person you can maybe look towards killing is, well, maybe Ophelia and Glacius. But Ophelia is kind of doing her thing in the jungle. Well, right now, it looks like actually she's maybe setting up a kill onto Haxorn.
Yep, and Haxorn's going up a little bit more. He does have his ultimate, but he might be in some trouble. Keeper the Forest going to go invis right there. Here comes a Skeleton King, the double Minotaur. He splits up with the double Minotaurs here. The second Minotaur stun doesn't hit, but the Root comes out. Going to try to trick up all the way. He goes right through Ophelia, and I believe will be fine. B-Kid in the meantime in the middle, and actually kills Glacius there, who's kind of pushed up quite a bit, actually, as you see where he died. So, hey, Trademark Esports actually or Complexity, excuse me, gets a kill out of that, and again, missing that second Minotaur stun, actually, I think kind of screwed them now. Tempest ultimate in the meantime in the middle lane. Will it be enough for the kill to Jerazai? There's a lock on top. They don't second. The stun's the greatest. Oh, but it still gets the kill. The brute strength activated from B-Kid, and a double tap for Complexity. So, in a game where there hasn't been very much action happening, pretty big deal. I mean, especially with B-Kid, who was struggling in farm early on.
Yeah, that was huge and very necessary. And you look at that, though. I mean, say Jerazai gets a little bit more tanky and get some more tanky items up on him. You got that heal, all of that damage and all that ultimate from Tempest, the brute strength, that would all be futile. It was very, very close with the heal coming out from Ophelia. But nonetheless, great exchange for Complexity. They desperately needed that.
Now, You can't forget about Draconis, who has been just quietly doing this thing up there. Keep it the Force actually running into Silhouette again, but oh, Silhouette taking a lot of damage from the creeps, actually. He just uses Tree Grapple. You see Zai right there going to spot. He's going to use his Portal Key, blink ahead, one more auto attack. Can he get a range? That Ghost Marches in. Yes, Haxorn will fall. So Zai just doing work right there. He found Silhouette at a perfect time. Of course, with this ward aside here, I'm sure helping, and gets the kill.
Look at this. He's a Suicide Keeper. He has 91 CS. 91. Why? Because I won't go back into that too much, but I really think it's just the combination of that one spell. Like, you have it, it's like an all-in-one feature, you know.
Yeah.
But he just can stay in lane. He has high base damage. You put that hatchet onto him, he's getting every single CS he wants. But Zai, again, making big plays as I always see him make.
Oh, yeah. No, that was huge. I mean, Haxorn, he's obviously been having a phenomenal game this game, but look at the goal per minute now. It's Keeper the Force and Draconis are both ahead of Silhouette now, especially after that death. So
Keeper's top in the game.
Keeper is top. Yeah, Suicide Keeper top in the game. Go figure. Draconis is getting very close to. Did he actually purchase it? No, he doesn't have it yet, at least not on the courier. But he has a Sustainer. Bring it the Teacher. Blessed Orb. So obviously Nullstone in the works here. And especially once it gets, I feel like, again, normal Draconis game, you would want to sit back and then farm the Shrunken Head after. But with this lineup, with having that, exactly, you don't need to, it seems like. So I'm curious to see what Trademark Esports does once he does have that Nullstone here. Yeah,
you don't need to at all. Like, there's really no pristine target for that Protective Charm to go on this game other than Draconis. So you put it on him, then that's fine and dandy. Like, there's nothing else you need to really put it on. Keeper, he jumps in, he ulties. You don't really need to save him because he's already done his job. Maybe heal him to get some damage off, actually. So using that spell is more of an offensive tool at that point. But yeah, I mean, once they get the Nullstone up on Draconis and they start grouping up, like, it's going to be very hard for me to find ways for Complexity to get to, like, initiate a team fight.
Yeah.
Silhouette, once she gets her Nullstone, she's still not going to be that effective. Like, the problem with her is she does need a lot of items to actually really dish out a lot of damage late game. Oh, here we go. Actually, Moon Meander getting caught. Very good Minotaur stun coming out from Minuts. It looked like it actually wasn't going to hit for a second there. In the meantime, Chessie does deny mid. Good job for him. He blinks away to safety, and Luna will be fine as well. But they're pushing both towers, both lanes, lane and mid, and the lane and top after getting that kill on the Moon.
Yeah, I happen to be watching the middle tower push while that was happening, so apologize for missing the action, but good play-by-play there. But again, getting the kill on a Wild Soul, big thing there. And sure, the middle tower was denied, but still, the tower pushing is happening. The top secondary tower goes down. This middle tower, it is going to fall. Whether or not Complexity again denies it here, will that matter in the end? I mean, it's another tower dead. We're only 19 minutes into the game, and it looks like it's going to deny again by Chessie, using the 3 elementals here against everything from the Hellborn team. So very good timing on Chessie's part right there to deny it. But like I said, I mean, this is still both your top and your middle lane now. Your base is now exposed here. We're only 19.5 minutes in. So Nullstone just finished on Silhouette, so good news there. 1,900 gold, however, saved up on Draconis, who has more than enough to actually finish his own Nullstone. In fact, there you go with the purchase. And there's the Mighty Blade on top of that. So.
Okay, he's still going to go the safe route, it seems. I honestly feel like he didn't need it, and I feel like he could have gone for an Energizer. I know it still has this kind of like stigma to it that it's kind of a trollish item, but it is very cheap. And since in my opinion, in this lineup, at least early on, you don't really need the Shrunken Head. And having that burst of movement speed, because you're going to be pushing together as a team anyway.
Yeah,
it would have been. I think it would have been a really good item. But nonetheless, like I said, going the safer route, having more HP with that Mighty Blade, and then ultimately going to turn that into that Shrunken Head. Nullstone up on Silhouette.
Yeah. Good for her, but it's Nullstone and then a Mighty Blade on Noob G, who's, by the way, also going to do double stack Ancient Seers. He just picked up a double damage rune, and Draconis gold per minute will start to shoot up more and more. He's going to surpass 400 GPM. In fact, there we go. He hits it right there. He still have Zai on that Keeper, man. 380 gold per minute. Another 1,600 gold saved up himself. So we saw right there a little bit. I mean, just when this Hellborn team kind of groups up, just the push potential alone is just ridiculous, let alone the team fight potential, which I'm sure, obviously, eventually in this game, we'll get an idea of how that works. Boo Boo does see. Okay, yeah, he just purchased the Mock of Brilliance right there. So Moon Meander going to have his courier deliver the Mock of Brilliance pattern to Boo Boo, and he will now at least have that, and that will be good. Again, it can kind of be a decent cancel against Keeper of the Force, but actually it kind of makes me wonder, so especially with Draconis going for the Shrunken Head, and if he has it going into the next fight, whether or not we see that Protective Charm being applied to Keeper, so that he doesn't get affected by that Mock of Brilliance, so he can't like Portal Key in. So
that could be. That definitely could be. I think it's something as simple as just applying it to your Glacius, so he can maybe get an ultimate on, something like that, or just cast his spells, because people forget that these support heroes, especially Glacius, like his spells are very effective from the beginning to the end. especially that Ice Imprisonment and his ulti. So yeah, even something that's just putting that Protective Charm on that Glacius, letting him cast his spells. But you're right, having that bear in your face is pretty annoying. And
yeah.
We've seen it have an effect on a lot of Keeper players in the past.
Now look at what tdM's doing here. Ninja Kongor. Complexity has absolutely no clue this is going on, and there's several factors for this. One, of course, no word at sight, but I like how tdM, you know, they didn't all just come over here and then commit to this Kongor kill. There's only Draconis and Ophelia. Ophelia was doing it for a little bit. Draconis eventually joined. Right. The rest of the team was still elsewhere, you know, farming and kind of even showing themselves on the map, not really allowing Complexity to be suspicious. But there you go. I guarantee you, for most of that, at least, Complexity had no clue that Kongor was being attempted. And now you have a token of life on Draconis, who, again, he's well on his way to finishing that Shrunken Head next. So things are starting to add up pretty well here for Trademark Esports. And what is the third and could possibly be, again, the final game if Trademark Esports wins this game here.
Shrunken Head is close to being finished up. Actually, I think it was finished on Hammerstorm. Yeah, it is finished. But, you know, it's just not going to be enough. As simple as that. He's going to need a big damage item or something to help him. I think Elder Parasite. Blink would be just silly here. Like, you're not going to pick anyone off. You have no one else to follow up except maybe Tempest, but that's not damage. That's just keeping people CC'd and in place. So I would say something like Elder Parasite crit for B-Kid if you can actually afford it in this game or manage to muster that up. But the options, yeah, they're there, but it's a matter of getting there. And against this team, like you have the big core items now onto tdM for the most part, save maybe a Shrunken Head on Draconis, but he's going to have that in, well, after this tower kill, probably like 400 gold.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how fast the tower falls. They don't even have like a Soul's Forward yet. What was that? Oh, yeah, he's very, very close. 150 gold away. Now, the Legion team, Complexity is actually kind of pushing quite a bit themselves. They took out both the middle and the top first towers, but it's getting to a point where you might want to think about maybe falling back, because tdM, they are clumped up a level 16 Draconis, mind you. And this tower is also going to fall. They're going to be down to their base towers. Will they get some counter pushing in? I mean, the top and the middle tower being pressured, but here comes some TPs. And it looks like Trademark Esports going with the strategy of, you know what, don't want to let them exchange towers. Protective Charm was applied to Draconis right before he ported in. He's actually chasing out Hammerstorm. And Hammerstorm's still on the run. Remember, he has a Shrunken Head. In fact, there we go. And he'll be fine in the end, but he did have to use a Shrunken Head charge, and that can obviously add up as it moves on in this game. So good defense there from tdM, and like they actually will deny the middle tower. Top won't be necessary, and they did get the bottom tower kill.
So it was smart on both sides. I mean, if you're Complexity, you know you're down, you know you can't fight against push, so you'd simply just trade. Like, you try to trade. But if you're tdM, one of the things I see a lot of teams that aren't this good, really, quite frankly, do, is just, you know, oh, we can push, just keep going, Yeah. But it's much smarter to actually just defend your towers. There's no reason to trade when you're up in the head.
Yeah.
So that was a good job by tdM.
Very well played indeed. Porta Key on Silhouette now, so she has that go-to item. Soul's Bulwark, I believe I just saw finished on Wild Soul, actually. So he's his farm has been picking up fairly nicely, 322 gold per minute. Ophelia running into a couple heroes here. Her minions are actually going to fall. Both the Minotaurs fall. The Skeleton King, it looks like, will stay alive. So that's the good news there. As there is a Shrunken Head, of course, on Tempest. He's had that for a little bit now. So wants to at least keep that Skeleton King up just in case. But as you put it earlier, I mean, hell, you even still have a keeper with that Portal Key that you have to worry about anyways. Wild Soul, though, again, going to continue to farm somewhat here at the bottom lane, but he is now going to start to fall back. So, Hellborn team, you got Draconis, 41, holy crap, 4,100 gold saved up on Noob G. So for some reason, deciding not to buy the Shrunken Head just yet, whether that's just he's been so focused on farming for now, or I mean, he has a token of life even. We're only 25 minutes in. Buyback just seems silly at this point. But he's saving up a bunch of gold. He might just go something different. I mean, maybe he did kind of realize that they do have a Jeremiah with a Protective Charm. And is that even necessary? So I kind of wonder.
I think he'll still buy it.
Okay.
Like, I still think he'll buy it.
That or a Frost of School? I mean.
Yeah, I've seen it on Draconis, and it's good against. Actually, it is good against the Shrunken Head of Hammerstorm. Like, it would make him just completely useless.
Yeah.
So maybe he will do that. Look at Zai though. He's pulling up a hefty sum of gold himself, almost 5K.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was actually going to say Mach of Brilliance would be actually quite good on him.
The Mach keeper, really.
Yeah. Actually, if there is a time that I do like Mach, I generally absolutely hate the item, but I actually think it works out quite nicely here. It's going to stop the Portal Key from Silhouette and Tempest. It's going to force Tempest to use a Shrunken Head, and you don't want that.
Yeah, and you see, does he have a double damage rune? Yes, he does. Wow, Keeper the Force hitting for 3 or 4. In fact, they catch. Oh, that was an illusion. Never mind.
They looked the same. I was going to say the same thing. They looked the same.
Well, it was that, but he died so fast, but I kind of expect that with Keeper with a double damage rune jumping in right there with 304 max damage. I was like, not surprising, but no, that was a. Meanwhile, though, hold that thought for a second. At the top lane, look at Draconis chasing, wants to kill Luna, but actually going to be turned on by here comes Jeremiah. He'll going to come out, and all of a sudden, Silhouette realizing that she's not going to win that fight, so she'll fall back. But in the end, I guess no one ends up dying. We still remain at a 3-2 hero kill advantage in favor of the Hellborn team. Now remember, 2 minutes on that token of life, as well as now 5,200. I mean, he's not going Shrunken Head. That just doesn't make sense. Why would he pull up this much gold? He's got to be going something else.
It could be Frostful Skull.
Yeah, it could be that Frostful Skull, or just straight up something else even. I mean, Wild Soul's going to be attempted to be picked off right here. The Glacial Downpour, even the Dragon Flame applied. You see Jeremiah trying to make something happen, but oh, the Storm Spear coming out. That catches Wild Soul off guard. But look at the boo-boo. He takes out Glacius in the meantime. He's trying to get an Entangle proc. That would be huge because Jeremiah with that aura is slowing down Wild Soul. Dragon Flame, this Skeleton King with the root, and down goes Wild Soul. So sure, Glacius dies, but at least they kill the important guy. Draconis actually does purchase a straight-up Savage Mace. He just did it right there.
Oh,
so
God.
he just happened to get the Mighty Blade first and was like, ah, screw it, going Savage.
Hey, I mean, you can't complain about that. Yeah. Now, Moon for Glacius, you can complain about that, and that's just not a trade that you want at all. Yeah, it was funny and cool and all that. He got that kill on the Glacius, maybe that he shouldn't have, but that should have never happened in the first place, and you can't have trades like that. It's just, but, you know, again, it really does come back to just the team comp from tdM. Like, it will always come back to that. Regardless of how well Complexity can play right now, it's going to be impossible to find an opening. Right now, the only opening I feel like is you get that ultimate up on Silhouette, you just go, I see, it looks like he's going for Shrunken Head, and I feel like at this point you cannot do that. You're going to have to go massive, massive damage. You put your ultimate in the fountain, everyone jump in, or at least a couple people jump in, kill Jeremiah, back up, reset the team fight, and then try to go from there.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. You go on Ophelia, you're going to have heals coming out from Jeremiah. You go on Jeremiah, yes, you'll have heals coming out, but it won't be the end of the world. Like, that's the only target you have to go on. And that's the problem with Jeremiah. I've talked about it all the time. You have to go on him in team fights. And when he builds tanky like this, look at him. He has a Shaman Tedris. He's all defensive. Shaman Tedris, he's working on a barrier himself. Now has a Storm Spirit, probably for him, just himself. Of course, you can use it for other instances too. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only way to initiate these team fights if you're Complexity.
20 seconds left on the token of life, and Trademark Esports, this is the timing for them. Maybe a little bit late, again, with the token of life going to be wearing off very shortly here, but they're going to start pushing to the base. See Hammerstorm throwing out a stun, but a quick Astrolabe heal coming out. So you mentioned the heal potential in this Hellborn team is ridiculous. Jeremiah and Ophelia bring so much to the table, but then on top of all that, you have a Keeper of the Forest spreading around the armor and even applying some regen himself. So this defensive tower is dropping quickly. Wild Soul ports back in. Silhouette's running here. She actually did not have a Homecoming Stone, so she's been running this whole time, and she is going to finally make it back now, but you know, a lot of damage already been done, obviously. And this tower, not dead just yet, but taking a lot, and especially with that Savage Mace on Draconis, just going to kind of sit back, Noob G is, and do the damage that he definitely can do. You see the double Skeleton King off to the side now. Chessie is not necessarily spreading them out, so I'm a little bit curious about, you know, something that Z-Freak does very well when he plays the Ophelia, especially against the Tempest, is spreads out those Skeleton Kings. Not to say Chessie never does that, but right now he isn't. Actually, Silhouette trying to jump right there, but the Void Talons are going to be used, and Silhouette will port out to her Illusion. Hammerstorm trying to charging in, but now Hammerstorm's falling back. Still no Shrunken Head. He's dropped a half life already. And oh my god, Hammerstorm finally activates the Shrunken Head, but so much damage done. Keeper of the Force comes in with the root. Tempest trying to jump in. He tries to ultimate. He'll finally get up, but the Soul's Blessing is applied, and zero follow-up is happening. Tempest will fall. Silhouette ports it with the Illusion, but so much damage already being done. Hammerstorm did survive, but he is now back at the well, regenning currently, and these melee racks, they're dropping quickly. So the Soul's Blessing is down. That's a good news for the Legion team, but it just doesn't seem like they have enough. The melee racks is going to die. The ranged racks may not even fall, but still the damage done, and Trademark Esports will now fall back.
Yeah, they easily could have taken that last racks. Not like it. I mean, they're playing a safe route, but yeah, there's just nothing they can do. And when you have Silhouette going there, like he was initiating the fight onto Ophelia, and like I said, it's still a good idea. But now with the Void Talisman up on Ophelia, like there's no way you can do that. But if you go in there and then initiation fails and you port out, that's it. That's your last hurrah. Like, you can't really go in and try to pick off anybody else, at least with the team comp that Complexity has right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the beginning, I still think, you know, having that target of Ophelia, it needs to be Jeremiah. At this point, it's just simply too late.
Yeah, it's adding up here, and obviously complexity as you expect, and this is it for them. I mean, if they do lose here, that's the grand finals, and tdM will be your first ever Diamond Cycle 1 champion. So on their way to that, but again, complexity is going to fight strong and try to fight to the very end. If anything, we'll see if it's going to be enough. Brutalizer just picked up on Zai playing the Keeper of the Forest, so the mock brute build on Keeper of the Forest, and he is hitting hard, that's for sure. So got to be somewhat worried about that. Even just adding insult to injury, I guess, is even a better way to put it here against this Legion team. So obviously, Trademark Esports putting it all together. Congo not up just yet. He probably will be resurrecting in the next minute or so, though. And maybe tdM just going to simply wait for that and then look to try to finish things off officially. Complexity, though, going to just keep farming in the meantime. You got Silhouette. She's doing all that she can. Hacks her in, farming the bottom lane somewhat. And then you got Wild Soul up at the top side, who he has something else. Okay, he's been sitting on the Soul's Bulwark here. I thought he had... Oh, yeah, he finished Ghost Marches. That's what it was. But, yeah, also Hammerstorm that last fight, man. I mean, he just dropped in that last fight. I think he might have been trying to initiate, but it's just he couldn't get it off. And he nearly died before he finally activated that Shrunken Head to just barely live. But he did literally nothing in that fight, though, because of that. So
yep,
that was a pretty big deal. But Congo has resurrected, as you do see the Legion team actually kind of heading over there as well. But obviously this is where tdM has the favoritism here.
There's just something he can't do. Like if he jumps in with a stun, that's it. He has nothing else more to offer except from maybe his auto attacks. But you just don't do any damage at this point, and they're just simply going to heal up. So yeah, it's just the hero comp is just too difficult for them to deal with. We have a Congo being taken out right now, at least initiated on. You do have the Frostburn up
and double damage
bottled up.
There we go. Ouch.
Goodbye. By the way, I want to say a note of this. I like how he has his Steam Boots actually activated agility, so he can attack faster to have more procs with that Savage Mace and that double damage.
Oh, there's a big fight coming. Look at Keeper of the Force in the background. His Mocker Brilliance doing damage to them, preventing the portal key. Now he's going to be spotted right here. The Conqueror did get killed. Genzai may fall right here, actually taking a lot of damage, and it looks like, yes, he will be bursted down. He cannot buy back. But this Hellborn team, they don't give two shits. On Tempest Ultimate, actually very good timing right there from Chessie. This could be the big difference. Mega 4 complexity. More Shrunken that's being activated. But the Cataclysmic Assault from Draconis and Jerizar with the Soul's Blessing. And there's the turn of the fight. Double tap coming out right off the bat for Noob G. And the rest are running away. GG, well played. Are being called. And it looks like it is going to be official. Trademark Esports will be your first ever Diamond Division Cycle 1 HoN Tour Tournament champion. So congratulations to them, as there it is official. Of course, Trademark Esports, where that puts them, they not only get $4,000, a decent amount of prize pool there from the first cycle, but they also get 4,000 points. And again, going into the grand finals, not only for a team that's, could very likely make it in the end, but seeding will play a big role in those grand finals. So they have the upper hand right now, and I'm sure they're feeling good after all that, Trev.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, you asked me, like, coming into a game like this, that's really important for complexity, and just after a loss of an 80-plus minute game, it generally is a one-sided game. But I don't think that necessarily had to do with the fact that complexity were playing bad. They just got the draft that tdM had. I mean, I talked initially about the Keeper and the Ophelia, that combination. Yeah. We never see that. I just can't believe those are two strong heroes that, god-tier heroes that should not be in the same lineup, or allowed to be on the same lineup. But really the biggest problem was Ophelia and Jerizia, the double heal coming out. And it's really hard against that. That's when we saw heroes like Witchslayer so popular and successful, because they have that lockdown and burst potential. Even a hero like Pyromancer would be great, but coming into Lockpick is a little bit more difficult because you don't know exactly what they're going to do. I believe Jerizia was last picked. I think it went
regular picking stage,
1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then Jerizia. I think so. Yeah. But yeah, just a really well done job by Minuts in the draft. It was a really good draft.
No, he did. He deserves a lot of credit there, obviously at the drafting stage, and definitely a big reason you could say why they were victorious. But tdM again, they have complexity's number lately. Not only do they win this matchup here, but they also took the DreamHack event, of course. They beat them earlier on in this tournament, and they beat them in the HoN Tour qualifiers.
We're getting a little distracted here. You guys don't know what's behind this screen.
My gosh. I really wish we had a camera going this way so you could actually see these two idiots over here. Anyways, yeah, so where were we? Oh, yes, Trademark Esports, they are your tournament champions. This is just the first cycle, though, of what is going to be 8 cycles total here for the HoN Tour event. So it's just the first cycle at the same time. This all continues. Cycle number 2, I should say, starts well, this coming weekend. And actually, if you go to HoNtour.com, I'm sure there'll be plenty of information there, if not already, eventually, in terms of which teams are moving up and down from each division.
Right.
You know, and eventually the brackets, of course, that are going to be made to look forward to what's going to be happening. So can't wait for that to start, Trelf, and, you know, really get going here with the cycles and everything. So
absolutely. Getting all those points for that final spot at the HoN Tour Finals.
No, actually, quick note, real quickly. Again, there is going to be no HoN Tour Weekly, of course, today, obviously, with the Grand Finals, or this week for that matter. But we will be coming back on Friday, where we will be casting what is going to be the Sound Blaster tournament. The Sound Blaster tournament that was recently announced. It's over $40,000 in prize and money. That's a lot on the line, guys. I mean, it really is. A big shout out to Sound Blaster, with that said, for putting that together. Really, really awesome to have those sponsors. That will be coverage of the Grand Finals for the first cycle. It kind of works like HoN Tour in that sense. It's kind of just cycles. But anyways, we'll be covering that on Friday, and that'll be a lot of fun. More information on honcast.com. But I believe we actually have an interview guest coming in here. I believe we're now joined by the one, the only Insania, going to be joining us. Insania, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing just fine. Feeling really good, beating Complexity for the 4th time in a row,
hey,
I want to say.
We were just talking about that. I think that is 4 times in a row, actually. So, yeah, how about that? I mean, is it? Say you guys have their number.
I can't go that much lower here. All right.
Choff already cut his hair once. Come on, man. So
I don't know. It's really good. I really think it's fun that he lived up to his promise and actually did shave. So
yeah.
Big props to you, Trelf.
He did. He did. We had a lot of fun there, obviously. With the video, and hey, you were in the video. That was actually kind of surprising to us. So, anyways, enough of that though. But so this series, though, again, you guys obviously it was kind of a 2-parter. So you lost to game 1 on Sunday. It was. Then of course we had the issues come up. Rescheduled to today. How about that second game, Anna? How about the first game today? What was it? 82, 83 minutes. What was it like for you as a player playing that game?
Oh, it was really intense. I mean, any game when it gets to late game is very intense, and generally, though, when you lose a team fight, it's kind of over, but it wasn't that this time, so it was a lot of action. It was fun to play. It was a bit different, and I hope you guys liked watching it as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, we loved watching that, to say the least. It was a lot of fun to cast, and, you know, again, I will say, you know, when yourselves and tdM and Complexity match up, it seems like we get a little bit more of a passive style of play. It's fair to say. And now, do you have a reason for that? Do you think there is a reason, you think, as to why you two teams may play very passive against one another?
Well, without trying to be rude against anyone else, I feel like we don't make as many mistakes. It's much harder to get kills on each other. Like, we were not off position as often as I feel other teams are, and we often make the right decisions. So it kind of leads to the fact that there's just not going to be as many kills. People don't make as many mistakes.
Fair. What was it like having a Doombringer on Engineer?
Oh, that was epic. I want to have that again.
That was something, right? Yeah, the 2 Doombringers in that game. That was a lot of fun.
I actually even said I thought you guys, the game would have gone longer if you didn't rush up there with that Doombringer. Because Chessie was actually doing a pretty good job of keeping Hag, you know, at bay, and you did a lot more damage to that shrine. So, yeah, props to you for making your way up there.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was a nice ending to the game, I feel.
So again, this is where it puts you, obviously, with Ultimate in the second game today. So you guys took the series 2-1. You were the first cycle champions. You got the good points, the good prize pool. What are you looking forward to about cycle 2? How do you think cycle 1 went overall for HoN Tour?
I think it was great. I think it was overall very good. There was a couple of hiccups in the beginning that I think you guys overall addressed it really well. Like, I feel like S2's really stepped up when it comes to hosting tournaments and how they deal with it and information going out about it and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like you guys did a really good job with it overall.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear from a player's perspective, especially, of course, someone from your level even being on tdM. You know, you can see that and you appreciate that. And, you know, I can vouch, you know, definitely here at S2 Games, working very hard behind the scenes, definitely taking all the consideration in and putting together this great event for everyone, for spectators, for casters, for players, of course. So it's been a lot of fun. Trelf, you have any questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask you if you can put us through, like a replay of the Skype or Vent or Raid Call, whatever you guys use, of the drafting of this last game that we just watched, of what was Minus thinking, because I think you guys superior, like it was just a superior draft and locking both Keeper and Wild Soul right after their Ophelia. Like, put us through the minds of Minus and what he's talking about.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to say Minus, I think he is the best drafter in HoN right now, and he does all of it alone.
Mm-hmm.
He asks us, like, are you guys up for playing this hero? And we're like, yeah, of course. And he does it all alone. He's really good at what he does. And when they banned Pestilence, I believe, I was like, so did they misclick or what happened? Like, they run out of time? And he was like, no, I don't think so. And then he was like, oh, no, okay, no, they didn't. And when they didn't like say anything about, no, that's not the right lock,
Right.
he felt so confident. He was like, yeah, we got this. We're much more versatile than they are. We're going to win this game.
That's interesting, actually, yeah. That
he was really confident from the drafting stage. He knew what we were doing.
Well, it worked out very well. You know, Trout definitely touched on it several times, and I, of course, agree with him. It seemed like the draft really is what helped pull you guys through in that last game at least. But obviously, just great play on top of that.
Yep.
Is what it comes down to as well. So, again, obviously, so you're the Cycle 1 champion. You're in the great spot right now, but there's still plenty left. Well, how do you think things are going to shape up in the end? I mean, how are you feeling going forward now here with the Cycles here in Sania?
I mean, we've pretty much won everything since DreamHack, and I don't know, it's just a lot of confidence. We've been a bit sloppy with our practice, but we're starting practicing again, and it's paying off. So,
are you worried about any upcoming teams? Of course, we know Complexity and even Vote to an extent, but any other teams out there?
No, I mean, there are a lot of good teams coming, I feel like. I think especially Lions deserve a shout-out. I feel like they've been improving really quickly over the last while. I feel like QSK have stopped a bit. They were really, really going, and were almost, I've even considered one of the top 4 teams maybe before DreamHack, but then after that it just feels like something's gone. They don't really have the fire anymore, but definitely Domain of Pain, I want to say. We've been scrimming against them a lot, and I mean, they're taking games off of us, and they're becoming a really good team, I feel.
Yeah, that's what I was scouting out as well.
Yeah. HoN Tour, man, it really is bringing all these teams and everything, and it's going to be fun. Again, this is just the first cycle. As silly as it sounds, I mean, it really is just the first cycle, and we have 7 more to come. So, well, can't wait for it to go through all that, but of course, you know, it's just getting started here. Anyways, Insania, I really do appreciate you, of course, joining us here, the post-game interview, and congratulations again on your big victory over Complexity yet again, and again, deserving of the Cycle 1 Diamond Division HoN Tour champion. So, any shout-outs you want to make, man?
Shout out to our sponsors, Razer and RaidCall, and a big shout out to tdM for being with us and helping us get this far.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you again, Insania, for joining us here on HoNcast, and again, best of luck to you in the future. Of course, we'll be watching you some more. So there you go, guys. Insania joining us, of course, the... again, congratulations, Insania. For joining us there and obviously being victorious, and well, they're going to be pretty good going in, obviously, to the next cycle, I'm sure. Going to be feeling pretty good, if anything. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun, though, to see all these teams bouncing around here between all these divisions. And like I said, going from cycle to cycle, you know, see on the stats running. I know the stats have kind of been, they were released and really haven't been updated since. But from my understanding and what I've been told, they are now going to start being a lot more consistent and kind of an everyday thing. So that's also going to be another fun thing. And yeah, can't wait. So, Trelf,
be good.
Any final words from yourself?
Congratulations to tdM, man. I mean, they're proving to be they are the top team in the world. Like there's no doubt about it. And it's just crazy to say that, you know, with confidence after Complexity had their reign, so to speak, for such a long time. But like I said, with teams just getting more practice and playing together longer, I really do think it does. I've said this a long time ago. It benefits the teams that have been together the longest. And tdM, they've been together for a decent amount of time now, and it's really paid off. So big congratulations to them. And Complexity as well. I mean, they got second place. It's nothing to be disappointed about. So yeah.
Yeah, kind of just a quick reaction here. It's vulgar language, so just a heads up on that. But Moomiander actually saying on his Facebook post after that, I'm guessing it was after the second game, he's like, fuck, I'm so done. Fuck that game. Fuck. So clearly Moomiander kind of frustrated there. As again, it's kind of that game, man. That game was epic, but to be on the losing end does kind of suck, man.
It's funny to hear him say that because I've seen his post before when he's lost. It's like, we'll just learn from this.
Yeah, we'll
get stronger next time. Now it's like, fuck.
Oh, man. Anyways, well, on that note, I think it's a good way to kind of wrap things up here on HoNcast for the day. Again, so we had a lot of fun, obviously, kind of a surprise cast here in the sense of with it getting postponed for the weekend. But hey, we had fun here today. It was a good thing in the end. And, well, we'll be seeing you now, a 2-day break here, and we're going to be coming back Friday, like I said, where we will have the grand finals of the Sound Blaster tournament. And that tournament, it has the best of the best teams in it from what I've seen. So I'm sure the grand finals will be great, and we'll have a lot of fun casting that. And then, of course, this weekend, cycle number 2 officially begins. And we'll kick things off with the Diamond Division on Saturday. So until then, until next time, until Friday, from myself, BreakyCPK, Tralf Mador. Follow him at TralfHoN.
And at BreakyCPK.
At HoNcast, the HoNcast Facebook for all the updates, HoNcast.com, HoNtour.com. and all that jazz. Go there every single day. Until next time, though, shout out to Killer One, shout out to you guys. We'll see you on Friday.
And drink your ul.
Have a good night.